Hello. Let me refresh that so I can see if there's chat. Mute. Okay. We good? All right. I'm gonna wait for some people to fill in, and then we can get started on some stuff. England. Hello. Welcome to the stream. I'm gonna be teaching a couple quick projects today because I am done with all of my tests, and therefore I don't need any of this paper anymore from homework. And rather than put it all in the recycling bin, I figured I'd get some use out of it. Hello, generic. So, if you would like to follow along, then I would suggest getting some paper. Otherwise, I'll just do it for the tutorial. Now, the thing about origami, we're gonna be doing a little bit more than that. We're having way more fun when they're made with schoolwork. Yeah, and I don't need any of this anymore. So, I think today what we can do, I'm gonna teach two different types of airplanes. This is the first one. It's like a simple jet, and then the second one may be a glider. And then if we want to go into more difficult stuff, we can make a paper ninja star, which requires 2 pieces of paper. Howdy, Brochowski. Welcome to the stream, Ryan. And so, what we need then, is to make a square piece of paper, when the regular one is, rectangular. I'll teach you how to do that, too, if you don't have a tool that can cut it into that. But, yeah. Alright. So I think the first one we'll do is this plane, because this one is rather easy, and I think it's the most fun, too. So, if you guys got some paper ready, I'll just get started real quick. So basically for any plane, the first thing you're going to want to do is to fold it in half. Most times it'll be long ways like this, but sometimes it'll be the short way the other way. Now you want to try and line up the edges as best as possible, because the more accurate this is, then the better it will fly. Then once you get it lined up, you want to crease it. You press down. Wait, I messed it. You press down and slide your finger along it. Then if you want to make it an extra tight fold, you can use your fingernail and slide along it. So it's a really, really tight crease. You open it up and you should have a perfectly folded in half piece of paper. So now we get into the basic structure. We want to make it symmetrical as possible. So we'll fold up this edge and then fold in a corner triangle. I think you would really need to find that microphone setting that disabled dynamic adjustment of audio input. Yeah, I'm not even sure if I can though. I'd have to look. Let's see. Yeah, there's really nothing to do when I'm streaming from mobile. That's just my microphone doing that. I could mute, enable flash, or save a highlight. That's it. But I'll try and talk loudly and clearly so it's a little better. So yeah, you want to fold a triangle along the edge, along this crease that you just made. And to make it a little easier, what you could do, you hold up the other side to make it sort of like an edge. It was once a very important paper, but since I'm done with school now, basically I can use it. And again, make it a tight crease. Oh, and the phone settings, maybe, but I'd have to stop the stream. So, yes. Alright. So then you want to do the same thing for the other side. And you want to try and match up, see the bottom, the 2 ends of it will line up like that. And you'll have 2 evenly sized triangles. Now we're going to make it more into the jet part. See how it's a bit long there? To do that, this one's a little bit of a trickier fold. You want to take this edge and line it up with the center then. And do the same thing on the other side. Just right down the middle there. Oh wait, shoot, I forgot a step. This is optional. Like, if you see how this one doesn't have a tip to it, so that it doesn't poke people in the eye. Then you want to fold the tip down, either here or on the next step. But I just do it here because it's a little more sturdy. Fold it down so it fits right in the slot with there. Right along this edge where the other two meet up. Murderous paper gliders, yes. So then you want to try and fold this down, and you get this edge to line up with the center. Then when you crease it down, it should have a little bit of extra space on the end, but that just happens. It's not really consistent with it. But if I poke people in the eye, then that would be not very good. Yeah. But if you have paper that you don't need to use anymore, like ones that, like, maybe old tests that you, like, wouldn't have needed to do. Or if you printed out something for a single use kind of thing. Alright. So then, let's see what else. Then you want to do the same thing on the other side, and if you can, try and make these two side edges the same size. You can tell if they're the same size by folding it up and then looking at it creases. Now, I kind of messed up and see it's a little bit longer on this side than this side. It's not too big of a deal, but to fix that, I think I'm just gonna like try and refold just a little bit. Or wait, no, it's the other way. Yeah. Shoot. It's really hard once you make the fold to try and fix it. It's a little better. Yeah, that's more evenly matched up. So then fold it in half to flatten everything out. And now you can see where the paper airplane shape is starting to take place. So now we want to make the wings. Yeah, honestly there's not too much interesting with the news in general, but you know. So now, let's see. We fold down, line up this edge, the top edge with the bottom of the plane. And then again, make it symmetrical on the other side. Alright, so this is the basic glider. And if you want to increase its flyability just a little bit, if you see towards the end, you can fold it up just a little bit. Isn't it? How did I do that last time? I think it's on the whole thing. Is it? No. I'm forgetting. I didn't do it with the other one, but there is a trick. I think it's just to do this. I'm gonna test it to see if it is, and if it is that way, then I'll let you guys know. Maybe show a little bit of a test flight. Yeah, it looks to be okay. There we go. All right, I'm going to give us a test flight, see how it works. Oh, that is not at all the right thing. It became a looper. Oh well. Yeah, the plane basically just goes in a loop as soon as you throw it. So, don't do that then. Alright, I'm going to try and flatten this out to see if I can fix it. Yeah, that fixed it. So now it's more of a jet. And I'll see if I can move. Yeah, it does a little flip. Or it does a little, like a barrel roll, but that's pretty much it. I'm going to tell you guys a traveling joke, but you didn't like. A time traveling joke, but you didn't like. That's fun. Alright. Now, would you guys like me to show you the test flight? I'd have to move my camera, but I think I could. Anyways, I don't know. Then we'll try a second type of paper airplane. This one is a jet, but the other one I'm gonna do is a glider. Like, let's see. This one is a little bit different. So you take it, you fold it down all the way across to line up the edge. This one isn't symmetrical at the start, but you make it symmetrical midway through. So now you fold down this top corner. Now it starts to look more symmetrical. And for the same reason, the other one, well, not exactly the same reason, but you know, you fold down the tip. Well, I guess it could be both reasons. It helps it fly a little better, and it prevents people from getting poked in the eye. This one's a rather small plane, actually. Now, by this stage, you'll want to fold it in half. And it's rather dense in this middle section. This is the one where you fold it up. So then you fold down the wing again, make it symmetrical too. Be sure to keep the footage up for this so people can look back at it. What do you call Gagiologist? Fruity pebbles. I don't know. Then, now the last thing to improve flight would be to fold up the wings like this. Now this one will stay in the air for a decent amount of time as long as you throw it right. Sometimes it loops around, but oftentimes you'll be good. Hold on, I'll do a test flight then to show. Oof. Alright. So yeah, those are the two planes that we're going to make. But that's pretty standard stuff. Now we're going to get into a little bit more. Now we'll find a spot where we'll need... I'll do them in order of difficulty. So next we'll do a fortune teller. Well, I often use it as a little puppet anyways. Oh, just to get it out, this is what the ninja star looks like. But we'll do that later. So, for the fortune teller / puppet, you're gonna need a square piece of paper. So to make a square piece of paper, here's how I do it, or how you could do it without like getting a scissor tool. Just in case, you fold it in a triangle like this. Then you fold up this edge, so that way it lines up with the base of the triangle without crushing anything. That's the tricky part. You're just going to kind of look at it on an angle until you fold it in the right way. I think that's good. You gotta check that's not it. Just fold up a little bit more. There we go. So now what you want to do to make this like easier to tear off, take your fingernail and drag it along it. So it's like a really tight fold. And then you can do it the other way too. If you bend it backwards. Now you should be able to tear it off. Not fully, but be careful with it. That other fold I made kind of messed me up. We'll try from the other end. I'm gonna try and get this a little bit off now. So now you got the square piece of paper, and now we can start to do the fortune teller part. Now I haven't done one of these in a long time, so I'm not exactly sure. I think if I remember correctly, you want to fold a grid shape of the lines to get a sense of where to fold. That's the first step. Shoop. So fold it in half that way. And then fold it in half the other way. So then we sort of have this plus sign of folds in the middle. Then we fold in each of the corners towards the center point. That's two of them. I got it like this. Alright, so then now we got this shape down. We want to flip it over and do the same thing with the new points. Bring them towards the center. So I packed my stuff in right. Now you've got this sort of shape. You've got these squares on the back, and you've got the triangles here. So on this side, what you want to do is you want to fold it in half again with the plus. This is just to make it a little easier to get it to fold. And then do the same on the other side. Now we sort of got this skeleton side. This is what we're going to be using. Or wait, no. I folded along the wrong side. Now you want to fold it pretty much on all the creases that you've already made as a means of getting it to work a little better. Now let's see. Okay, now we should be able to sort of... Ah, there we go. You want to take each of these... You want to open these up and then fold it in on each of them. Oh, that's the other thing. You can make it into a paper crown this way. Look at that. Then you want to do the same with the other sides. Now, when you go back to fold it in like that, you've got this sort of shape like this. Alright, see you, Ryan. Now, this is the end shape that you're going to want. Now, the thing that makes it a fortune teller, what people usually would do, they write numbers on the side, and pick a number that how many times they can do this, and then it would show different numbers on the inside, and then you would be able to open up the flap and it would read something on there for what the fortune is. But what I think is a much better use, you can use it as a puppet. Hello, I am a paper puppet. Meh. So you just gotta like, then once you do that, just want to draw it, give it some eyes. We get a pencil over here. Fold him back down so I can draw his eyes a little easier. What are you looking at? Just a silly thing. Oof. Okay. Alright, so that's the second most difficult. Now, the most difficult is the ninja star. Why? Because you need two different pieces of paper that are both squares. And you're going to make the same thing twice, but just a little bit different. I might actually need to open this one up to remember how I did it, but I don't think so. So first things first, you're going to want to make a sort of long paper tube. Not a tube, but like a rectangle. So you fold it downwards in half like this. And you fold it down again. Now once you've got this, is that right? Should be. Yeah. Now what you want to do is fold it in half this way just to make a center line. This is really dense. Gotta be careful with that. So now we're gonna go into making the ninja star part. This is tricky because the folds can be a little confusing. You want to fold down this corner to line up the edge with the end there. And now on the other side, whatever you do on one side, you want to do the opposite on the other side. So if you folded this one down, you want to fold this corner up. Just like that. Now, it's tricky to remember the direction of these, but you want to fold this up, like, let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a way to describe which way to fold it. But you want to make a triangle that's facing up like this way. Like this edge is vertical on it. Then you want to do the opposite on the other side. So now you can kind of see where the ninja star shape is coming in, I think. Now, just for the sake of folding things and making it easier to construct, then fold down the 2 points again. So you should have this sort of shape here. And now, just to make it so that it gets flattened out a little more, this is the finished part of one half of it. So I'm going to weigh this down with something. Like, I'll put it underneath my pencil sharpener, just so it gets a little, like, flattened. Now we want to make the second one. The second one has to be the opposite of the other one. So we got to be careful. I might have to take that out again to see what I did. Alright. We still use the same first steps though, folding it down into a sort of tube. And then folding over again. So now we want to take it the opposite way. We folded this corner down first, so we want to fold this corner up next. But first things first, I gotta fold it in half to make sure we get the lines right. Okay. So now we fold this up here. Now we fold the top corner on this side down. And fold this half downwards towards the center. And then this one up towards the center. So we got this sort of shape again, except it's the inverse. It's reversed. And then fold in the two triangles. Okay. Now the important thing is construction. Construction is difficult. You might need a pencil or something sharp in order to open up some things, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. Now, just to show, these two are opposites. Doesn't cringe when I miss the kill. Okay, so the reason why it's like this is because you're going to flip one and lay it in a sort of pattern. So what you're going to want to do, this is a very difficult thing to construct. You want to open up one flap and tuck in the point like that. Then on the other side, you want to tuck it in too. But it's hard because it's kind of pressed down there. Just fold it in there. Shoot. And why it's tricky, because sometimes it will be uneven, like in the center. It'll still work all right, but you just got to be careful. I'm going to try my best to scooch that over. Now you've got this, so you flip it over to the other side and do the same thing inside of here. This is the tricky part. You got to stuff it in there. And fold it over. Now the last one is the most difficult. This is where you're going to need the pencil. Try and like dig underneath there to get this open. There we go. And you fold it in. Slide it right under there. Now again, it's a little bit asymmetrical, but that's pretty much the best you might be able to get. Unless you have like a thinner type of paper, which is pretty much the same as the other one. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, just so I can move the camera one time, I'm just going to do a demonstration of all the stuff that I made. Like how the paper airplanes fly, how these fly, etc. So give me a minute while I move my camera. I'm just going to cover it up real quick. Alright. That's good. All right. Okay. There we are. So now the flight of this glider. Let's see, I'll just do it from the floor. So we can, actually I'll tilt up the camera some. That's better. Toss. That wasn't so bad. All right, now this one is a little bit tricky. This is the glider. Oh, the other one was the jet. This one's the glider. I don't even know if you saw that one. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get this one too. Where'd it go? Ah, there it is. Ugh. Okay. That was the two gliders. Now we get on to the Ninja Star. The Ninja Star you gotta throw kinda hard. That was bad, I'm sorry. There we go, that was a little better. Alright. Let me just try another one of these flights of each plane. So yeah, the jet is the best, is the most reliable, but if you take the glider, sometimes you can get some crazy air time like that. I remember one time when I was little, I got it to stay in the air for like 15 seconds, and I was so proud. But yeah, that's just about all that I can do in terms of origami without looking up again. But I hope these tutorials were a little nice. So I'm gonna leave now. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll be streaming on my main channel a little bit later. I'll see you guys there.